Moving forward with the next session for the day. It is a great honor to introduce Professor Rangasayee R, an eminent professional academic leader and a pioneer in the field of speech, hearing, disability, rehabilitation, and inclusive design, whose contributions have significantly shaped policy, practice, and research in India and beyond. Professor Rangasayee has held several prestigious leadership and administrative positions at the national institutions. He has played a vital role in policy and standard setting bodies, serving as a member of Bureau of Indian Standards in his personal capacity and as a member of Indian Council of Medical Research Task Force on Deafness. His contributions have received wide recognition, including the National Technology Award in Handicap Welfare in 1995 and the National Award of Creating a Barrier-Free Website in 2010, both conferred by the President of India. Internationally, he has received an award of appreciation from the South Carolina Vocational Rehabilitation Department, USA. We are honored to welcome Professor Rangasayee R to this distinguished gathering. Over to you, sir.
Oh, thank you so much for a nice introduction. How much time do you give me? Hello? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'll try to make it as
20 minutes, sir, if possible.
Yeah. How many?
20 minutes.
Oh, yes. Yes. I'll try my level best. You can always remind me as well.
Thank you, sir.
First of all, I wish to thank Dr. Lata Rajendran and the entire team for giving me this opportunity to be here with you all. I would have liked as much to be in person attending this had I been in India. But today you must realize that I am in Canada, and the time now for me is 4 a.m., 4:54 a.m. I have been sitting since 11:15 p.m. for me in attending this. It's just that the talks were so interesting, so meaningful, so valuable. And however, the purpose of my talk is to share with you all and involve you all in the process of making few standards in which we are working as a country and also at international level. In especially with related to disability sector, and my talk will focus on three broad areas. One is that there is a disparity in disability prevalence across nations in the world that has created a global problem. And number two is health data, what is to be captured and relating to persons with a disability and what is to be shared. In that, there is no standard available at all. And number three, we have standards for assistive technology. There are standards in accessibility, but there is no standard which will guide you to study the impact of these two on people. So these are the three major areas in which I'll be sharing. Few global, and wherever possible, it will also be local data. But otherwise, we are moving ahead in creating this, and I'm seeking all your participation in it. Next slide, please. Okay, I'm not going to define this disability per se, but it is interaction of persons with impairments in interaction with various barriers that may hinder their full and effective participation in UNCRPD. This is followed in about 191 countries of the world, and more or less every definition there around the world is harmonized with this definition. Next slide, please. You see in the next slide that the first the square within which a person is functioning. Okay, so when the square represents the environment. The person inside is maybe me, you, and anyone else. So as long as we fit into the square within the environment, that is okay. If our needs are increased, If they are not, like in the disabling process as it happens, then we go beyond the square. That means the solution, there is two things as is shown in the next arrow there, where either you increase the facilities in the environment, or number two, or you improve the body functioning to fit the human being within the environment. So these are things that I thought are important for us to be knowing. Next. Huh. So you see that there is a large variation in disability prevalence. The topmost country is Australia, and the bottom one is probably, I mean, whatever, I'm not able to read it, nor have I noted down. I was hoping that it will be possible for me to note, but then that is about 1%. So there is a wide range of variation in terms of prevalence report, which needs to be essentially harmonized if disability has to be addressed globally on the same foothold. Next slide, please. And this is also true in India. In India, you see that prevalence of disability as per 2011 census varies across states, and the variation has been explained primarily on the basis of socio-economic changes or variations. Definition has been the same across the country, and the next census is to happen in probably in 2027, I'm told, and we'll see how it happens. Next slide, please. So as far as prevalence is concerned, the statistical overview is lack of common definition of disability. Actually, it is not lack of common measuring tool, measuring definition, that is what it is. And then lack of reliable data collection methods, which leads to 1% to 18.5% as reported by governments, whereas World Health Survey estimates 15% as disability prevalence. Next slide, please. Now we are going into looking at health-related aspects. Health-related aspects is what we are going to see now. Persons with disabilities experience poorer health outcomes when compared to the rest of the population in terms of premature mortality, increased morbidity, and limitations in functioning, as reported in Global Report on Health. And they also have a higher incidence of communicable diseases and chronic health conditions and limitations to functioning, like whatever keynote speaker Dr. Wadhwa was also pointing out to the communicable diseases as well as non-communicable diseases, which need to be limited. That was a point he said. I must also here highlight that I was principal investigator for a program funded by UNDP on looking at AIDS, HIV, and disability, and what was the level of awareness and all that. And similarly, during COVID time also, we had lot of requirements for persons with disabilities in terms of protective as well as in terms of promotive, in terms of curative services. In all these areas, we needed some special attention there. But this is one part which relates to the health of people with disabilities. Persons with disabilities are more likely to die at a younger age than the rest of the population. This is a study done in Korea from 2004 to 2017, and it is reported also in other fora. So this is an important point that need to be seen, because what we are going to be doing as part of a standard will also include this as an aspect. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah, this report also talks about people with disabilities typically need more health care than the rest of the population, because they require disability related services and assistive devices on top of general health services. So therefore, they do need more healthcare, and specialized healthcare facilities are required. However, their access to care is hindered by informational, financial, physical, and attitudinal barriers. Next slide, please. Disability data related issues may data on disability need to be standardized and internationally comparable for benchmarking purposes. So this is what World Report on Disability 2021 has recommended. And globally, there are about 1.3 billion people live with some form of disability. Next slide, please. Disability, in this, you will also see that producing national and sub-national statistics has been always a problem. Dr. Sanjay Wadhwa also in his speech, he did talk about insufficient data on disability, on various aspects of disability. Next slide, please. Though in India, we have NSSO 2021 report is there that talks about all the 21 conditions. So here again, disability related data is often incomplete, inconsistent, or incomparable across countries and sectors. So this is the essence that has come out of another report also. Next slide, please. It's again standardization and interoperable disability information limits the ability of governments, service providers, and international agencies in terms of monitoring and in terms of designing evidence-based interventions, and also ensuring the rights of people with disabilities. But please note that while there are ISO standards for assistive technology and accessibility, there are notable gaps in assessing the combined impact of these on person's life. This is precisely an area in which we have proposed one more standard. Internationally, methodologies for collecting and sharing data on people with disabilities need to be developed. Note that collecting and sharing data on persons with disabilities, there is no report at all on that. We don't even have what all to be collected about a person with a disability and what all to be that can be shared for various other purposes in the era of electronic health records. So digitalization has been very well till now emphasized by all the previous speeches, so which I'm sure you are aware of. Next slide, please. So these are few guidelines which ISO IEC has given, which supports the three different standards which we are proposing. Next slide, please. The health informatics is where under which we have proposed this disability informatics. Standardization in the field of health informatics to facilitate capture, interchange, and use of health-related data, information and knowledge to support and enable all aspects of health systems is the purpose of health informatics. Similarly, disability informatics is also proposed under with a similar scope. Next slide, please. I think it is for streamlining, collecting, storing, and retrieving of interoperable data on disability in whole life perspective, leading to equitable framework for collecting comparable population-based disability data. Similarly, serve as the basis for developing innovative local, global, marketable services in terms of innovations and use of aids and appliances, and how to promote disability rehabilitation and primary care, required manpower development. All these can be judged based on these three different standards that is being proposed. Next. Our project team consists of Manisha Mantri from National Resource Center for EHR, Electronic Health Record Standards, CDAC Pune, and Manju Kuchal Dhwani Foundation from Bengaluru, and Mr. Basavaraju sir from who was former State Disability Commissioner, Government of Karnataka, Jayganesh Udayasankaran, Executive Director of the AYJNIHH, and this is with the Digital Health section, Deepa Palaniappan, Consultant Expert in Disability Sector, and Urusa Varsi, Deputy Director in BIS. So it is this team that has been working on this till now. Next slide. So proposed standards are three. Part one, population-based screening of persons with disabilities, where we have used WHO HUDA's two guidelines. We are proposing, but it is all to be discussed in stakeholders meeting. And say part two is on identification, that is labeling, that is diagnosis, the type and degree of health, disability data that can be shared at the level of the individual. At the level of the individual, whatever can be collected and shared, that is being captured in the second standard. And the third standard is at the societal level, at family and societal level, how the person is able to function. So these are the three different, and what is the related data elements to be captured in this. Next slide, please. So this ISO has also given a number, health informatics data elements and structures for identification and exchange of information on persons with disability, part one screening. So we are in the third stage in ISO standard development, and BIS standards are also in the offing. We are waiting for a consultation with stakeholders, and after that this standard may get finalized. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. May I ask for next slide? Okay. I wouldn't really be trying to spend more time on this. This document focuses on the data elements for screening the population to identify any possible disability or functional limitation. Next slide, please. The purpose is to identify individuals with difficulties in functioning in domains, note the words such as seeing, hearing, cognition, walking and climbing states, and energy levels. This takes care of all the 21 types, including persons with acid attack and whatever burns. All those are included in this. And it also gives scope to add any other emerging new areas depending on the need of a given country. So there is a wide variation in the prevalence of persons with disabilities across nations due to differences in measuring impairment, thus making it difficult to compare the data across countries. Hence, a functional assessment protocol is being specified. Next slide, please. Okay, so we are addressing two sustainable development goals: good health and well-being for people. I wouldn't go through the details, but anytime I can share with you. The second, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Kindly change. It goes with reducing inequalities as per SDG goal number 10, which Dr. Lata Madam also was telling in her initial speech. Next slide, please. So there are a number of stakeholders. So it has great relevance to industry and commerce, both large and small scale industries. Next slide. To government to facilitate harmonized disability data collecting across departments and agencies, strengthen evidence-based policy making. And so where policy lacuna was pointed out by one of the speakers in the process, but clearly this particular data collection, especially the third one that looks at the social participation of persons with the disabilities and what are all coming in between. So we'll see that. And then national disability, I think we'll go through enhance interoperability among public sector databases and e-governance system. So the consumers, the standard would empower individuals through standardized and portable disability information. That is a point to be noted, which facilitates interoperability as well and will improve access to services and reduce repetitive screening across institutions, enhancing trust and transparency in data use and sharing. And in terms of labor, again, in terms of what are the workplace accommodations, in terms of documentation, in terms of their employed, not employed, assist in identifying skill gaps and planning disability inclusive training programs. Next slide. Academic research bodies can go a long way in terms of developing assistive technology market, localized information, and then studying the difficulties faced by persons with disabilities zone wise, geography wise. So those are the things that will be possible for them. And standards application business, the proposed standard would encourage development of software solutions, which Kalpana Rao also was talking about. With the disability standard, it would also create new opportunities for consulting, certification and implementation services, stimulate innovation in data interoperability and compliance tool. Next slide, please. Okay, non-governmental organizations also stand to benefit with these proposed standards. Efficiency in delivering disability-related programs and services. Kindly note that. Strengthen evidence-based advocacy through reliable and comparable data. Can also facilitate partnerships and coordination among NGOs, government, and international bodies. Next slide, please. A brief on contents. What contents will they have? This is just a brief. Quickly, we'll go through the next slide, please. So it talks about population-based survey to identify persons with difficulty in functioning in daily life in the following domains: vision, hearing, mobility, cognition, communication, self-care, behavior, blood disorders, mental health, and other difficulties. And it includes demographic details as per standards which are already there. So every standard is harmonized with other international and national standards. So that process is important. And the process of HMLization, which I think Dr. Muthukrishnan sir was talking about, that is also being undertaken here. Machine learning and comparability for easiness in terms of harmonizing the standards. Next slide, please. Part 2, identification or sharing about an individual's data will be assessed. Details of persons with disabilities who are assessed, intervened, and certified or not certified by an appropriate authority, but identified in part 1 as having difficulties. And then the scope of this activity is to capture elements as to identify and document the status of personal family details, medical history and health conditions, and the nature of treatment received, including both surgical and medical interventions. It further extends to assessing the availability and utilization of rehabilitation services, assistive technologies, accessibility supports in the individual's environment, as well as it also will talk about the kind of care required, support, caregiver support required, medication taken. It will all the aspects of individual's health, what needs to be captured and what may be shared for the benefit of the individuals who are affected. Next slide, please. Part 3, okay. Information collected include demographic, single or multiple. Okay, I think I will only talk about last one. The guidelines used will be ICHI. ICHI, International Classification of Health Intervention, will also be covered under this. That framework will be taken. Next slide, please. So in terms of assessment, functional assessment in 13 domains to serve as indicators of pre and post intervention functioning, as well as facilitators and barriers at the individual, family, community, and independent inclusive living levels. So this will get captured in that. Scope is to capture the data elements indicative of functioning facilitators and barriers at the level of the individual, family, community, and independent. Inclusive living ecosystem. Next slide. Data elements captured will include, in the third standard, activities of daily living, example, eating, dressing, toileting, drinking with or without assistive technologies. General abilities in terms of managing household activities, transportation, shopping, finance, meal preparation, communication, medication. Then assistive technology and services, education details, pre-vocational, vocational details, employment, current status, experience, present employment, if any, access to facilities in civil societies, schemes and concessions, political participation, disaster-related accessibility, accessible housing and related environment, and accessibility in mobility and transport as per the guidelines, caregivers, including costs. Next slide, please. This is a simple summary that gives about module 1 dealing with various areas which I have already listed out: vision, hearing, mobility, cognition, communication, self-care, behavior aspects, and blood disorder, mental health, as well as other difficulty, if any. And similarly, identification, which we have already seen, those areas are listed here. And in terms of module 3 on social part, assessment part, what are all required? So that is just now we saw, and those are listed here in one particular table. I think so. Next slide, please. I think that must be the last slide. Okay. So here I have given some of my details. Those who are interested can give their or communicate or indicate their interest in participating in stakeholders meeting. I'll be too happy to invite you for that meeting. And I look forward to all your participation and contribution. In fact, without involving you all, without involving the community, these standards will not be finding any meaningful utility at all. So therefore, I will again appeal to you to participate in this endeavor and support. And I thank you for patient hearing. I know it is a post-lunch last session, which is very, very difficult to hold. And all of you must be very keen to go home as well. So I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your expertise with us.